what do you believe are the 3 areas that we should train, right? We all believe in training hard, and training our minds, training our bodies. But what are 3 values or principles that the Stoics say that we should train? Welcome back to Daily Stoic Wisdom, 366 meditations on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living by Ryan Holiday and Steve Hassel. This quote comes from Epictetus. Quote, "There are 3 areas in which the person should be wise and good must be trained. The first has to do with desires and aversions. That person may never miss the mark in desires nor fall into what repels them. The second has to do with impulses, to act and not to act, and more broadly, with duty. A person must act deliberately for good reasons and not carelessly. The third has to do with freedom from deception and composure, the whole area of judgment, the assent our mind gives to perceptions. Of these areas, chief and most urgent is the first, which has to do with passions, where strong emotions arise only when we fall into our desires and aversions." This is a really interesting one today, because I have 3 areas that I like to train that I think are very similar in my coaching program that I've developed called the M.A.N method, which is maturity, assertiveness, and nurturing. And to take what Epictetus is saying here, right? The first is understanding our desires and learning to avoid where our desires can lead us astray and where our aversions may lie, where our emotions may take us. And this has a lot to do with maturity. By understanding yourself, by building that self-love, by developing those skill sets. And maturity isn't something you have, it is something to be trained. This is a training of these are the actions I wish to take, which leads to assertiveness. The same thing of what are your motivations? And knowing how to go after, knowing when to act and not when to act, right? Because an assertive person knows that, understands where their lines are and when to take action and when not to take action. An aggressive person takes action all the time with careless and reckless abandon. Someone who's a people pleaser takes very little of no action, or it's always guided by someone else, not by their own reasoned choice. And the last is nurture, and it comes down to judgment and nurturing those judgments, nurturing your own qualities within yourself. These are all qualities that can be trained, can be things that are part of our daily practice and routine. Become the men, to become the people that you want to be, right? You don't wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm going to be this person. It starts with that decision, and then it requires the action, the maturity, the assertiveness, and the nurturing to grow that. You don't just become something, you work towards it. A lot of people think, oh, they're an overnight success, but it's the iceberg kind of scenario. You think you see only what's on the top, but you don't see all the things that have gone underneath to get to that point. So many people who are watching this video, maybe you want to start a YouTube channel, maybe you want to do something. You think, oh man, I'm going to get it's going to blow up right away. 99.9% of the time, that isn't going to happen. It requires that effort, that training, and putting in that desire, that dedication, and determination to make it happen. And that is what I think about when I read this, when I really meditate on this idea. It's what are you doing on a daily basis to train your values, to train the person you want to be, so you then become it. They say, fake it till you make it. It's more fake it until you become it. This is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And you start taking those actions, and you will make mistakes. We all do, but that's part of training, right? Training is bringing out and practicing those skill sets, practicing what you preach, practicing maturity, making your bed, treating people with respect, setting boundaries, nurturing and relationships and friendships, nurturing your own self-love and self-care. Especially with ADHD, I think this is absolutely critical. As much as you can take a medication and change your the brain chemistry, but if you're not changing the other aspects of your life to make life work for you, it will be a struggle. It was for me until I learned these things and continue to practice them each day. Let me know, what are you training on to become? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. Catch you on the next one, and have a great